The single most catastrophic typo in galactic history happened on a Tuesday. Not that anyone in the Galactic Resource Allocation Department knew it was Tuesday. They operated on a 17-day week cycle that nobody quite understood anymore. But for the sake of cosmic irony, which the universe seemed to run on like a particularly vindictive operating system, it was a Tuesday. Gorthak Flimmershine, middle manager of the 17th subdivision of planetary classifications, stared at his screen with the kind of dead-eyed expression that transcended species. His 14 tentacles moved across the holographic keyboard with all the enthusiasm of wet spaghetti. He'd been categorizing planets for 3,000 cycles, and if he had to read one more report about potentially habitable worlds with moderate mineral deposits, he was going to dissolve his own neural pathways out of sheer boredom. Planet designation Sol 3, he muttered, his speaking orifice barely moving. Local name, Earth, population, carbon-based bipeds, technology level. He squinted at the report. The numbers were smudged, or maybe his optical sensors needed cleaning. Either way, it looked like it said Level 2, but could have been Level 7. Ah, screw it! Gorthak's tentacles slammed down on the keyboard. Level 2 it is. Nobody ever checks these things anyway. He typed, Planet Earth, Resource Class Z, free extraction, no defensive capabilities. Help yourself. The notification pinged across 17 different galactic corporations simultaneously, and that's when things got interesting. In the crystalline boardroom of Excavation Enterprises Unlimited, CEO BLVVT the Insufferable nearly choked on his morning stimulant. Free extraction! On a populated world? Somebody get me that planet's coordinates now! His assistant, a quivering blob of anxiety named Plorth, oozed forward. Sir, it appears 2 other corporations have already dispatched fleets. The mindless mining conglomerate and the terrible terraforming company are both those bastards. Blovett's 17 eyes bulged in 17 different directions, which was quite impressive even by his species standards. Prepare the fleet. We leave in... How long does it take to fuel the ships? 47 hours, sir. We leave in 30. I don't care if we have to push the damn things. Meanwhile, aboard the flagship of the mindless mining conglomerate, Admiral Skrintok was having his own crisis. What do you mean the navigation system is running on Windows 98? His chief engineer, a 6-armed creature named Driptok, shrugged with all 6 shoulders simultaneously. Budget cuts, sir. But don't worry, I've got it running. We just have to restart it every 4 hours or it crashes. Every 4 hours? The journey takes 3 months. Well then, sir, I suggest we get very good at timing our reboots. The terrible terraforming company's fleet wasn't doing much better. Their commander, Vexalia 14 names too many, had just discovered that someone had packed the wrong invasion manual. This is for aquatic planets, she screamed, holding up the thick manual. Earth isn't even mostly water. Actually, ma'am, her lieutenant chirped helpfully, it's 70% water. Shut up, Grimsby. That still leaves 30% of not water. What are we supposed to do with the land parts? Improvise? Improvise! Do you know what happened the last time we improvised? We turned an entire civilization into furniture by accident. The race to Earth had begun, and it was less Independence Day and more the Three Stooges in space. Indeed, 3 months later, all 3 fleets arrived at Earth simultaneously, which was exactly as awkward as it sounds. They dropped out of hyperspace practically on top of each other, resulting in a cosmic traffic jam that would have been hilarious if it weren't so pathetic. This is Bloved of Excavation Enterprises. This planet is mine. Like hell it is, Skrintok's voice crackled over the comm. Mindless mining claimed it first. You're both idiots, Vexalia screamed. The terrible terraforming company has the proper paperwork. While the 3 fleets argued, circling Earth like confused moths around a porchlight, humanity watched with a mixture of terror and bewilderment. In the United Nations emergency session, President Rodriguez of the Global Defense Council stood before the assembled leaders. So, We're being invaded by 3 different alien forces who are currently arguing about parking spots. The British Prime Minister, Nigel Thistlethwaite, adjusted his glasses. It appears so. They've been at it for 6 hours now. The one with tentacles, just called the Crystal One, a geometric disappointment. Should we shoot at them? Asked General Petra Volkov, her hand hovering over the nuclear launch protocols. Let's wait and see where this goes, Rodriguez said slowly. I have a feeling this isn't going to go the way anyone expects. He was right. He was so right. The aliens finally decided to invade simultaneously, which went about as well as 3 people trying to go through a revolving door at the same time. Blau VVVT's forces landed in New York, took one look at Times Square, and immediately assumed they'd arrived at some kind of torture facility. By the void! Lieutenant Plorth wheezed, his gelatinous form quivering. The lights, the sounds, the advertisements. It's psychological warfare. Stay strong, Bluvett commanded, though his own eyes were watering from the sensory assault. Begin extraction of resources. Start with their, he consulted his scanner. Their hot dogs? That can't be right. Sir, I'm detecting massive amounts of preserved meat products in cylindrical casings. That's disgusting! Who preserves meat in casings? Extract something else! Meanwhile, Scrintok's forces had landed in Tokyo and were having an existential crisis. Sir, Driptok reported, his 6 arms shaking, their technology? It doesn't make sense. They have robots that serve drinks, but they still use paper for currency in some places. And these manga. Scrintok held up a comic book like it was radioactive. They've documented thousands of invasion scenarios. They knew we were coming. They've been preparing. Sir, I don't think these are historical documents. They appear to be entertainment. Entertainment? They find invasions entertaining? What kind of psychotic species? Sir, one of them is trying to take a selfie with me. A what? Vexalia's forces landing in London were perhaps the most confused of all. They'd begun their standard terraforming procedure when they encountered something their manual hadn't prepared them for. British politeness. Excuse me? An elderly gentleman in a bowler hat approached the 10-foot-tall alien warrior. Terribly sorry to bother you, but you're parked in a handicapped space. I'm afraid you'll need to move your... Is that a death ray? It's a terraforming catalyst beam, the warrior replied automatically. Ah, lovely. Still need to move it, though. There's proper parking round the corner. Would you like some tea while you sort it out? What? Tea. Earl Grey. Unless you prefer builder's tea, you look like a builder's tea sort of being. The warrior's translator struggled with this interaction. Are you surrendering? Good heavens, no. Just being civilized about the whole thing. Invasion or not, there's no need to be rude about it. By day 3 of the invasion, things had gone completely off the rails. The aliens had discovered something no amount of military intelligence could have prepared them for: human bureaucracy. What do you mean I need a permit to extract resources? Bluvett screamed at the New York City clerk. The clerk, a woman named Dolores, who'd seen everything in her 30 years of municipal service, didn't even look up. Form 347B for mineral extraction, Form 82C for biological samples, and you'll need an environmental impact study. That's a 6-month wait minimum. We're invading you! Invasion or not, you still need proper documentation. Next! In Tokyo, Scrintok's forces were trapped in an even worse nightmare. They'd tried to establish a base of operations, but had been caught in the web of Japanese corporate culture. We need to discuss the invasion timeline, Scrintok said desperately to his human liaison. Ah, yes. We'll need to schedule a meeting about scheduling the invasion meeting. How does next Thursday work for you? Next Thursday? We're invading now. Now isn't on the calendar. We could pencil you in for, let me see, 3 weeks from Tuesday? This is insane. No, this is protocol. Would you like to join our company drinking party tonight? Mandatory fun, you understand? But the absolute worst fate. befell Vexalia's forces in London. They'd made the fatal mistake of trying to terraform Hyde Park during a cricket match. "Stop the terraforming!" Vexalia screamed at her crew. "Why, ma'am, the humans are just playing around it. They're acting like we're not even here." Indeed, the cricket match had continued unabated, with players politely stepping around the crystallizing grass and commenting things like "bit of weather we're having," and "pitch is playing strangely today." One of them just asked if we'd like to join in for a spot of cricket, Lieutenant Grimsby reported, thoroughly rattled. "What did you say?" I said yes. I don't know what happened. They were so polite about it." As the first week of the invasion progressed, the aliens made a horrifying discovery. Every attempt to extract Earth's resources was being met with something far more insidious than military resistance: bureaucratic entanglement. Blvd sat in his command chair, surrounded by literal mountains of paperwork. Environmental impact studies, zoning regulations, tax forms. Tax forms. They want us to pay taxes on the resources we're stealing. "Sir," Plorth oozed forward nervously, "it gets worse. The humans have started filing complaints." "Complaints? About the invasion?" "No, sir. About how we're invading. Apparently we're not following proper invasion protocols according to their science fiction literature. They're saying we're doing it wrong." "Doing it wrong?" "Yes, sir. There's a particularly harsh review on something called Reddit. And they gave us 2 stars out of 5. They said our motherships are derivative and our threats lack narrative weight." Blvvt's tentacles drooped. They're critiquing our invasion aesthetics." "I'm afraid so, sir. Someone called Trevor said our uniforms look like we raided a discount Halloween store." "Trevor? Who the hell is Trevor?" "Unknown, sir, but he has 12,000 followers who seem to agree with him." In Tokyo, Skrintok was discovering an even more disturbing aspect of humanity: their ability to turn anything into routine. "Sir," Driptok reported, "the humans have started incorporating us into their daily schedules." "What do you mean?" "Well, there's a coffee shop that's using our patrol schedule to time their breaks. Alien patrol at 3 p.m. Perfect time for a latte. They've even started a loyalty card program themed around invasion survival." "They're commercializing our invasion?" "It appears so, sir. There's also a dating app called Probe Me Maybe that's specifically for human-alien connections." Skrintok's mandibles clicked in distress. "Please tell me you're joking." "I wish I were, sir. I've gotten 47 matches." 47? What can I say, sir? Apparently 6 arms are considered exotic. But the truly devastating blow came when the Galactic Compliance Department arrived for a routine inspection. The inspector, a being composed entirely of sentient paperwork named Fleeb 9000 forms, materialized in the middle of all 3 command ships simultaneously. "Gentlemen, lady, and whatever you are," Fleeb rustled ominously, "I'm here about some very serious allegations." "Allegations?" All 3 commanders screamed in unison over the comm. "Yes, the humans have filed a formal complaint with the Galactic Labor Board. Apparently, you've been invading without providing proper break times for your troops, no dental coverage, and, this is the serious one, no overtime pay for weekend invasions." "Weekend invasions?" Earth operates on a 5-day work week, with something called weekends being designated rest periods. You've been invading during their rest periods without paying the standard time-and-a-half rate. Vexalia threw her manual across the room. "Time and a half for invasion? I don't make the rules, I just enforce them. Also, the humans have unionized." "What?" "Yes, the International Alliance of Invasion Resistance Workers. They're demanding health care, vacation days, and a pension plan. Their representative would like to schedule a meeting to discuss terms." "This is insane." Blvd's tentacles were turning purple with rage. "We're invading them. You can't unionize against an invasion." "Actually," Fleeb shuffled his papers, which was disturbing since he was papers, According to Galactic Code 77B4, subsection J, any prolonged interaction with a sentient species lasting more than one solar week is classified as a work relationship and subject to all standard labor laws. But, Skrintok sputtered, they're supposed to be primitive, level 2, no defensive capabilities. Ah, yes, about that. Phlebe produced another form. The humans have filed an inquiry about their classification. They'd like to know who classified them and on what basis, as they have something called nuclear weapons and reality television, both of which are considered Class 7 psychological warfare tools. Reality television? Vexalia asked weakly. Don't ask. I watched 5 minutes of something called The Bachelor, and I'm still in therapy. As the second week of the invasion began, things had somehow gotten worse. The humans had discovered the aliens' one true weakness: meetings. I'd like to call this invasion planning session to order, said Janet Blackstone, the newly elected president of the Invasion Resistance Union. She sat at a conference table surrounded by aliens and humans, all looking equally miserable. First item on the agenda: invasion hours. The current 24/7 invasion schedule is simply unsustainable. We're proposing a shift to 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, with occasional Saturday invasions at overtime rates. This is ridiculous. Bluft slammed a tentacle on the table. Invasions don't have business hours. They do now, Janet smiled sweetly. Unless you'd like us to file a grievance with the Galactic Labor Board. Phlebe mentioned something about fines that could bankrupt entire solar systems. Fine. 9 to 5 invasions. Excellent. Moving on to item 2, invasion break rooms. The current break facilities are woefully inadequate. We're demanding proper coffee machines. Coffee machines? The good ones, not the instant rubbish. Also, Joyce from accounting would like to know if you have any dietary restrictions for the invasion potluck next Friday. Invasion potluck? Yes, we thought it would be good for morale. Build some camaraderie between invaders and invaded. Joyce makes a wonderful potato salad. Lieutenant Plorth raised a tentacle. I'm actually lactose intolerant. Noted. Joyce, no cheese in the potato salad. Skrintok's head hit the table with a resounding thunk. How did we get here? How? Item 3. Janet continued mercilessly. Workplace safety during invasions. Several humans have complained about the lack of proper warning signs around death rays. The meeting dragged on for 7 hours. By the end, the aliens had agreed to dental coverage, 2 weeks paid vacation from invading, and something called Casual Fridays, where nobody had to wear their invasion uniforms. But the real crisis came when the aliens' home offices started receiving the bills. 16 million credits? The Excavation Enterprises Board of Directors gathered around the holographic display in horror. For what? Overtime, sir, Blaviti explained weakly over the comm, and environmental cleanup fees. And something called emotional damages for scaring a dog named Mr. Whiskers. A dog? The owner has a very good lawyer, sir. This is a disaster. We were supposed to be extracting resources, not paying for them. Well, technically we are extracting resources. We've got several tons of lawn clippings. Lawn clippings? It was all we could afford after the fees, sir. The mindless mining conglomerate was faring even worse. Their accountant, a being made entirely of crystallized math anxiety, was having what could only be described as a nervous breakdown. We're billions in debt, it shrieked, numbers literally flying off its form. The humans charged us for parking. Parking! Do you know how much it costs to park a mothership in Manhattan? How much? Skrintok asked fearfully. I can't even say the number. It's so large it doesn't have a name. We'd have to invent new mathematics just to describe our debt. Can't we just not pay? They've already sent it to collections. There's a human named Brad who calls 17 times a day. 17! He's relentless. The terrible terraforming company discovered they'd been sued for unauthorized landscaping after they'd crystallized part of Hyde Park. They want us to put it back, Vexalia sobbed. Do you know how hard it is to unterraform something? It's like trying to unbake a cake. Can't we just leave? Grimsby suggested. Leave. We're in a binding contract. Apparently, when I said yes to that cricket game, I somehow agreed to something called terms and conditions. 16,000 pages of terms and conditions. Did you read them? Of course I didn't read them. Nobody reads terms and conditions. Well, according to Section 8745, subsection J, paragraph 17, we're now legally obligated to maintain the cricket pitch for the next 1,000 years. As week 3 began, the invasion had transformed into something unrecognizable. The aliens were now essentially running a failing business on Earth, complete with performance reviews and team-building exercises. Trust falls, announced Brad Thompson, the human resources manager somehow assigned to the invasion force. Everyone partner up. BLVVT, you're with me. I have 14 tentacles and weigh 3 tons, BLVVT said flatly. You'll die. That's why it's about trust. Come on, fall backward. This is humiliating. It's mandatory fun. Company policy. Meanwhile, Skrintok's forces had been absorbed into Tokyo's corporate culture so thoroughly that they'd started having drinking parties with their human enemies. Kampai. Skrintok clinked glasses with his human counterpart, both thoroughly drunk on sake. You know, the human slurred, you're not bad for an invader. You're not bad for an invaded person thing, Skrintok hiccuped. Why are we fighting again? Something about resources? Right, resources. Skrintok paused. What resources were we after again? I don't know. Water, air, our memes. Memes! That was it. We came for your memes. You can't have our memes. They're our cultural heritage. We'll fight you for them. Tomorrow? Can't tomorrow. I have a performance review, Thursday. Thursday works. But the true turning point came when the Galactic Audit Department arrived. The auditor, a being that existed in 17 dimensions simultaneously, which made him very difficult to look at without getting a headache, materialized in Earth's orbit with a briefcase that contained entire solar systems worth of paperwork. I am Auditor Zixthis the Unnecessarily Complicated, it announced, its voice somehow sounding like pure bureaucracy. I'm here to investigate why this invasion is 47,000% over budget and 3 weeks behind schedule. All 3 commanders were summoned to a meeting that would go down in history as the most painful experience in the known universe. And that included supernovas. Let me get this straight, Zixthis said, reviewing documents that seem to exist in more dimensions than should be legally allowed. You've spent 18 billion credits to successfully extract nothing? We have lawn clippings, Blovt protested weakly, and 47 tons of something called pocket lint, Skrintok added. Don't forget the 3 pigeons we accidentally terraformed, Vexalia contributed. They're crystallized now. We're calling them art. This is unacceptable. The auditor's voice reverberated through dimensions humans couldn't even perceive. The Galactic Council invested in this invasion, expecting returns. Instead, you've somehow made Earth profitable. They're charging you rent for your own invasion. To be fair, Plorth interjected, Manhattan real estate prices are actually quite reasonable when you convert them to galactic credits. Silence. Do you realize what you've done? You've set a precedent. Other planets are already updating their defense strategies. The Rigellans are setting up a parking meter system. The Betelgeusians are forming a homeowners association. The entire galaxy is adopting bureaucracy as a defense mechanism. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. My God, Vexalia whispered. We've doomed the entire galaxy to middle management, Zixthis confirmed grimly. Every planet in the galaxy is going to become middle management. It was at this moment that humanity's true secret weapon revealed itself. Not nuclear weapons, not biological warfare, not even their inexplicable ability to find humor in everything. No, it was something far more insidious. "Excuse me." A human assistant named Carol poked her head into the meeting. "Sorry to interrupt, but would anyone like to sign up for our corporate newsletter? We're doing a special on invasion efficiency tips." "Newsletter?" Skrintok asked suspiciously. "Oh yes, daily tips on how to optimize your invasion experience, plus recipes, fun facts, and this month's special, a comprehensive guide to Earth's tax codes." "That sounds actually useful," Bluft admitted. "Great. I'll just need your email addresses. You do have email, right?" "What's email?" Vexalia asked. 4 hours later, all 3 invasion forces had email accounts, and within a day, they were drowning in spam. "Make it stop!" Skrintok screamed, his inbox showing 47,000 unread messages. "Who is this Nigerian prince, and why does he need my help? I've been subscribed to 17 different services I don't remember signing up for." Blufhoved's tentacles were frantically hitting unsubscribe buttons that seemed to only generate more emails. "Cat videos!" Vexalia shrieked. "Someone keeps sending me cat videos! I don't even know what a cat is!" But the emails were just the beginning. The aliens had been infected with something far worse: corporate culture. Within days, Skrintok's forces were having synergy meetings and talking about circling back on things. BLVVVT's troops had started using phrases like, "Let's take this offline," and "Ping me about that later." Vexalia's entire command structure had reorganized into something called agile methodology, which nobody understood but everyone pretended to. "We need to touch base about our core competencies," Lieutenant Grimsby said during a morning briefing, his eyes glazed over with the hollow look of someone who'd attended too many PowerPoint presentations. "Right. Let's leverage our synergies to create actionable insights." Vexalia responded automatically, then stopped. "Wait, what did I just say? What did I just say?" "You're speaking corporate," Grimsby gasped. "We all are. When did this happen?" "It's the meetings," Ploth realized with growing horror. "The endless meetings. They've changed us. We're becoming middle managers." The transformation was spreading through the invasion forces like a plague. Aliens who had once been fearsome warriors were now worried about their quarterly reviews. Pilots who had navigated through black holes were struggling with expense reports. The entire invasion had ground to a halt under the weight of its own bureaucracy. "Status report," BLVT demanded during the daily stand-up meeting, which for some reason everyone actually stood up for, despite half the species not having legs. "Well," his lieutenant began, "we're blocked on resource extraction pending approval from legal. Legal is blocked on environmental review. Environmental review is blocked on getting signatures from all stakeholders. The stakeholders are blocked on—" "Enough!" Blovvit's scream echoed through 17 different dimensions. "When did we become this? We were conquerors. We were feared throughout the galaxy. Now we're inefficient." Carol, the human assistant, provided helpfully. "But don't worry, I've scheduled a workshop on improving invasion productivity. It's mandatory." "Mandatory?" "Oh yes, and there'll be trust exercises. I'm going to dissolve myself. That's against company policy. You'll need to fill out a form first." The breaking point came when the aliens discovered the true horror of Earth's most diabolical creation, the reply all email chain. It started innocently enough. Someone named Dave from the London Resistance had sent an email about the coffee machine being broken. He'd accidentally included the entire invasion force email list. Within minutes, the catastrophe began. "Please remove me from this list." Commander Vexalia, "Stop replying all." Lieutenant Grimsby, "You're replying all too." Skrintok, "Everyone stop replying all." Bluvovt, "Did someone say the coffee machine is broken?" Random human from Iowa, "Why am I on this email?" Fleeb from the Galactic Compliance Department, "Is this about the coffee machine or the invasion?" Dave, who started it all, "Stop replying all." Everyone simultaneously replying, all the email chain grew exponentially. Within 6 hours, it had crashed the entire galactic communication network. Civilizations that had never even heard of Earth were suddenly receiving updates about a broken coffee machine. The Andromedan Empire fell into chaos. The Horsehead Nebula Coalition disbanded. 3 separate species evolved past the need for physical form just to escape their inboxes. "Make it stop!" Zixthis, the auditor, screamed, existing in 17 dimensions and still unable to escape the emails. "I'll approve anything. Just make the emails stop." It was then that President Rodriguez of Earth's Global Defense Council made his move. He scheduled a meeting, the final meeting. "Gentlemen, ladies, various non-binary entities," Rodriguez began, standing before the assembled alien commanders, all of whom looked like they'd aged several millennia in 3 weeks. "I think we need to talk about the elephant in the room." "What's an elephant?" Skrintok asked weakly. "Figure of speech. The point is, this invasion has been a disaster for everyone involved." "You're telling me?" Blavit laughed hysterically. "I've lost my sanity, my profit margins, and I'm pretty sure I'm developing what you humans call burnout." "We've terraformed 3 pigeons and a hot dog cart," Vexalia added dead-eyed. "My species doesn't even eat hot dogs. We don't have mouths." "I've been to 17 team-building workshops," Skrintok whimpered. 17! I've built so many marshmallow towers I could construct a space station out of them. "Here's what I propose," Rodriguez continued. "You leave. We forget this ever happened, and in return," he paused dramatically, "we don't share our complete corporate culture package with your home planets." The silence was deafening. "You wouldn't," Blavit gasped. "Performance reviews, quarterly reports, synergy meetings, reply-all email chains, HOA regulations, the DMV." "The DMV?" Vexalia asked fearfully. "The Department of Motor Vehicles. Imagine trying to get a license to fly your spaceship, the forms, the lines, the bitter employees who hate their jobs and take it out on you. Now imagine that, but for everything." "You're monsters!" Skrintok backed away in horror. "No," Rodriguez smiled. "We're middle management, and we could make the entire galaxy middle management too. Unless we leave," Bluft finished, "and never come back. And mark Earth as do not invade, extreme bureaucratic hazard in your databases. Deal, deal. Just no more meetings, no more emails, no more team-building exercises." The evacuation happened faster than any invasion in recorded history. Alien ships fled Earth's orbit like they were escaping a black hole, which in a way they were. A black hole of paperwork and procedural nightmares. But as they prepared to leave, one final insult remained. "Wait!" Carol the assistant called out. "You forgot to fill out your exit surveys." "Exit surveys!" All 3 commanders screamed in unison. "Oh yes, please rate your invasion experience from 1 to 10. Was Earth easy to find? How was the resistance? Would you recommend invading Earth to other species?" "This is it," Bluft said quietly. "This is how I die. Not in glorious battle, not of old age, but filling out a customer satisfaction survey about my own failed invasion." "There's also a comments section," Carol added brightly. "Feel free to share any thoughts about how we could improve our invasion experience." Vexalia grabbed the tablet and wrote simply, "Hell is real, and it's Earth's bureaucracy." As the alien fleets limped away from Earth, broken and traumatized, they left behind warnings in every database, every star chart, every galactic travel guide. Earth, level 10, hazard, approach at your own risk, contains weapons-grade bureaucracy. Known hazards include emails, meetings, performance reviews, tax forms, homeowners associations, and something called Karen from HR. Symptoms of exposure include speaking in corporate buzzwords, addiction to coffee, and an inexplicable need to circle back on things. If exposed, there is no cure. You will become middle management. You have been warned. Back on Earth, President Rodriguez stood in the UN Assembly Hall, addressing the world's leaders. "Ladies and gentlemen, the invasion is over. They're gone." The British Prime Minister raised his hand. "How did we do it? We didn't fire a single shot." Rodriguez smiled. "We did what humans do best. We made everything unnecessarily complicated, frustratingly bureaucratic, and mind-numbingly tedious. We turned an invasion into a corporate nightmare. So, we won by being annoying? We won by being human. Turns out our greatest weakness, our inability to do anything simply, is also our greatest strength." General Volkov laughed. "You're telling me we defeated 3 advanced alien civilizations with email? Reply all emails, specifically. That and Carol from HR. She's getting a medal. Carol gets a medal. She got them to sign up for newsletters, voluntarily. Do you understand the psychological warfare involved in that? She's a genius." But the celebration was short-lived. As humanity patted itself on the back for weaponizing bureaucracy, a new message arrived from deep space. Not from the fleeing invasion forces, but from something else, something that had been watching. "People of Earth," the message began, its tone different from anything they'd heard before. "Congratulations, you've passed the test." "Test?" Rodriguez asked the assembled leaders. "What test?" The message continued. "The invasion was never real. Well, it was real to them, but we've been observing. You see, there's something coming, something that can't be stopped by weapons or technology or even bureaucracy, and we needed to know if Earth was ready." "Ready for what?" someone whispered. "The Galactic Department of Revenue. They're coming to audit everyone. And we need Earth's help because you're the only species that's ever made bureaucracy into an art form." The UN Assembly Hall erupted into chaos. "You want US to help with a galactic audit?" President Rodriguez shouted over the noise. "Not help," the message clarified. "Lead. You see, the Galactic Department of Revenue has gone rogue. They've been auditing civilizations out of existence. Entire species have been liquidated for improperly filed forms. The Zephyron Empire fell because they used the wrong font on their tax returns. Comic Sans, specifically." "Dear God," someone gasped. "Not Comic Sans." "The department has become too powerful, too efficient. They need to be stopped, and you're the only species that successfully weaponized inefficiency. We need you to do what you do best, which is make everything take forever, cost too much, and require 17 different forms that nobody can find." Rodriguez looked around the room at his fellow world leaders. "Are they asking us to bureaucracy the bureaucrats?" "It appears so." Thistlethwaite adjusted his glasses. "They want us to red tape the red tapers. Out-middle manage the ultimate middle managers," General Volkov added with growing excitement. "This is it," Rodriguez said slowly. "This is humanity's moment. Everything we've ever complained about, the DMV, tax codes, insurance forms, terms of service agreements, it's all been training for this." "But wait," someone called out. "What happened to the 3 invasion forces? Shouldn't we tell them it was all a test?" The message answered as if it had heard them. "Oh, them? No, that was real. They really did try to invade you. We just knew what would happen. Consider it a practical demonstration of Earth's capabilities. They'll be fine. Eventually. The therapy might take a few centuries." Meanwhile, aboard the fleeing invasion ships, the commanders were still trying to recover from their Earth experience. "I had another nightmare," Skrintok whimpered to his therapist, a sentient cloud of calming pheromones. "I was in a meeting, about having a meeting to plan a meeting. That's perfectly normal PTSD, post-terrestrial stress disorder," the therapist soothed. "Many invasion survivors experience these symptoms." "Survivors? We weren't supposed to be survivors. We were supposed to be conquerors. And how does that make you feel? Like I need to fill out a form about my feelings. That's progress." Blovert was in even worse shape. He'd developed a nervous tic where his tentacles would involuntarily mime typing on keyboards that weren't there. "The emails," he muttered constantly. They never stop. Never stop. Reply all. Reply all. Reply all. His crew had to lock him in his quarters after he tried to terraform the ship's computer into a coffee machine, insisting that nothing works without coffee, nothing. Vexalia had gone in the opposite direction. She'd become obsessed with efficiency, creating flowcharts for everything. If we optimize our trauma processing workflow, she explained to her bewildered crew, showing a diagram that looked like someone had thrown spaghetti at a windshield, we can reduce our therapy time by 7%. Commander, that's just a picture of circles connected by random lines. It's synergy. Commander, please, you need help. I need a PowerPoint presentation. Where are my slides? Where are my transitional animations? Back on Earth, preparation for the real challenge had begun. The world's most powerful weapon was being assembled. The International Committee for Galactic Revenue Interference, or as it would come to be known in the annals of galactic history, the Department of No. Its members were carefully selected from Earth's most frustrating institutions. From the DMV, Dolores Witherspoon, who had once made a man wait 3 hours to be told he was in the wrong line. From the IRS, Gerald Permanence, who could make a simple yes or no question require 47 forms. From tech support, RAJ-47, nobody knew if that was his real name, who had perfected the art of transferring calls until people gave up. From insurance companies, Barbara Denial, whose superpower was finding sub-clauses that invalidated everything. From internet service providers, Todd Throttle, who could make unlimited mean anything but. And leading them all, Carol from HR, who had single-handedly broken 3 alien civilizations with newsletter subscriptions. Ladies and gentlemen, Carol addressed the team, her smile containing all the warmth of a tax audit. We have one mission: to make the Galactic Department of Revenue regret ever learning about forms. How do we fight an organization that invented bureaucracy? Gerald asked. Simple. Carol's smile widened. We make them follow their own rules. All of them. Every contradictory policy, every outdated procedure, every form that requires another form that requires another form. We're going to give them exactly what they want. Complete and total compliance with everything. That's evil, Dolores gasped admiringly. No, that's bureaucracy. Now let's begin with step 1, requesting the proper forms to request a meeting about requesting an audit review. 3 months later, the Galactic Department of Revenue arrived at Earth with a fleet that made the previous invasion look like a parade float. Their ships were perfect rectangles because curves were inefficient. Their uniforms were the color of manila folders. Their leader, Supreme Auditor Crix the Methodical, had once made an entire species extinct because they'd rounded up instead of down on their tax returns. People of Earth, Crix announced, his voice the auditory equivalent of waiting in line, you have been selected for a comprehensive audit. Prepare your documentation. Certainly, Carol responded cheerfully. Which forms would you like? All of them. Excellent. To request all forms, you'll need to fill out Form 77A, but to get Form 77A, you need to submit Form 77B. To get Form 77B, just give us the forms. I'd love to, but I need written authorization, in triplicate, notarized. Oh, and our notary is only available on Wednesdays between 2:17 and 2:23 p.m. That's only 6 minutes. Yes, he's very busy. Can I pencil you in for next March? Crix's eye twitched, which for his species was equivalent to a complete nervous breakdown. We'll conduct the audit without your cooperation. Oh, you can't do that. Barbara from Insurance stepped forward. According to Galactic Code 1147J, subsection 43, paragraph 6, line 14, word 7, an audit cannot proceed without proper documentation from the audited party. That's our own rule. Exactly. We're just ensuring full compliance. You wouldn't want to violate your own regulations, would you? The Galactic Revenue Department had encountered something they'd never faced before. Malicious compliance. Earth wasn't refusing to cooperate. They were cooperating so thoroughly that nothing could actually get done. "Fine," Crick snarled. "We'll start with a simple asset evaluation." "Wonderful." Gerald from the IRS rubbed his hands together. "Now, which asset evaluation method would you prefer? We have the standard terrestrial asset tabulation, the modified terrestrial asset tabulation, the modified terrestrial asset tabulation, the... How many are there? 637. Oh wait, 638. We just created a new one while you were asking. Just pick one. I couldn't possibly. That would be showing favoritism. We'll need to form a committee to decide which form to use. A committee? Oh, yes. But first, we'll need a committee to decide who should be on the committee, and a committee to oversee that committee. It's committees all the way down, really. Within a week, the Galactic Department of Revenue was drowning in its own procedures. Every attempted audit generated 17 sub-audits. Every form required pre-forms, post-forms, and forms to confirm the forms had been formed properly. "Sir," one of Crick's assistants whimpered, "the humans have sent us a customer satisfaction survey about our audit." "Ignore it. We can't. Regulation 8888K requires us to respond to all feedback within 2 business days. Then respond. But, sir, the survey has 7,000 questions. 7,000! And they're all essay questions. With a minimum word count. Cricks grabbed the survey, reading the first question. "On a scale of 1 to infinity, how would you rate your rating experience of rating this rating? Please explain in no fewer than 5,000 words, using examples from both classical and contemporary literature." "This is impossible." "Oh, and sir," the assistant added nervously, "they've asked us to translate it into all Earth languages, including dead ones and fictional ones. They want it in Klingon, Elvish, and something called Pig Latin. But the real masterstroke came when RAJ-47 from tech support got involved. "Hello, Galactic Revenue Department, you're being transferred." "Transferred? To whom?" "Please hold." The hold music was Earth's secret weapon, a combination of smooth jazz, insurance commercials, and a voice that said, "Your call is important to us every 30 seconds, despite all evidence to the contrary." After 6 hours, Cricks finally got through to another menu. For audit inquiries, press 1. For complaints about audits, press 2. For complaints about complaints, press 3. To hear these options in interpretive dance, press 4. Interpretive dance? It's an audio menu. I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. Did you say comprehensive pants? Let me transfer you to our textile division. No, wait! Too late. The transfer began again. The hold music resumed. Somewhere in the department's flagship, an assistant was crying into a form that required him to document his tears in milliliters. Meanwhile, Todd, from the internet service provider, had implemented his own special torture. "I see you're trying to download Earth's financial records," he said cheerfully to the Revenue Department's data specialists. "Great news! You have unlimited access. Finally, some cooperation. Your download speed is 1 kilobit per second." "What?" "That's the unlimited basic plan. For faster speeds, you'll need to upgrade. Would you like to hear about our packages? We have the bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, uranium, and theoretical packages. Just give us the fastest one." "The theoretical package. Excellent choice. It's so fast it arrives before you request it. It's also theoretical, so it doesn't actually exist." "Will that be a problem?" The Revenue Department's efficiency, their greatest strength, had become their greatest weakness. They were used to other species being intimidated, fearful, or attempting to hide assets. They were not prepared for a species that responded to an audit with more paperwork. "We've been at this for 3 weeks, Cricks raged at his staff. 3 weeks and we haven't completed a single form." "Actually, sir," his assistant corrected, "we did complete 1 form." "Finally, which one?" "The form to request forms, but it was rejected." "Why?" We used blue ink. They only accept black ink on Tuesdays. It's Thursday. Right, so that's purple ink only. Purple? Who uses purple ink? Earth, apparently, but only on Thursdays. Unless it's a leap year, then it's orange. The breaking point came when Dolores from the DMV introduced the ultimate weapon, the line system. Now serving number 3, she announced to the vast Revenue Department fleet. We're number 4736, Crick screamed. Oh, that's the old numbering system. We've switched to a new one. You'll need to get a new number. Fine, give us a new number. Oh, I can't do that. You need to go to window 12 for new numbers. Where's window 12? It's right next to window 11. Where's window 11? We don't have a window 11. We skip from 10 to 12. Budget cuts. This is insane. No, this is the DMV. Insane is down the hall, third door on the left, but they're closed for lunch. It's 9 a.m. Early lunch, late breakfast, brunch. They're closed for brunch. As the Galactic Department of Revenue slowly descended into madness, something unprecedented began to happen throughout the galaxy. Other species were taking notes. Did you see what Earth did? The president of the Rigelian Empire asked his advisors. They defeated the Revenue Department with forms. We should implement something similar, his advisor suggested. Create our own bureaucracy. Brilliant, how do we start? Well, first, we need to form a committee to study Earth's methods. Excellent, form the committee. We'll need approval for that. From whom? The Committee Approval Committee. Do we have one of those? No, we'll need to form it. Who approves that? And so, the bureaucratic infection spread across the galaxy like a beige, form-requiring plague. Planets that had never seen a permission slip suddenly required them for everything. The Andromedan Empire created something called Casual Friday without understanding what it meant. The Centauri Coalition implemented reply all protocols that crashed their quantum networks. Back on Earth, the Revenue Department was reaching levels of frustration previously thought impossible. Please, Crix begged, actually begged, something no Supreme Auditor had ever done. Just let us audit you. We'll make it quick. Quick? Carol gasped in mock horror. Oh no, we couldn't possibly do quick. That would be showing preferential treatment. We need to ensure everything is done properly. By the book. All the books. Every book ever written about auditing, including the ones that contradict each other. There must be thousands of those. 47,000, actually. Would you like them in chronological order, alphabetical order, or by weight? Weight? Some of the older ones are quite heavy. The Comprehensive Guide to Comprehensive Guides alone weighs 17 pounds. That's just a guide to other guides. Oh yes, very important. Can't find the right guide without a guide to guides. Of course, there's also a guide to the guide to guides, but that's advanced stuff. It was at this moment that humanity revealed their ultimate strategy. President Rodriguez called a meeting with Supreme Auditor Crix, a quick meeting, which in Earth terms meant only 4 hours, plus a pre-meeting and a post-meeting debrief. Let me be frank, Rodriguez said, after 45 minutes of small talk about the weather on various planets. You can't audit Earth. We can audit anyone. No, I mean you literally can't audit Earth. It's impossible. Nothing is impossible for the Revenue Department. Our tax code is 17 million pages long. We've dealt with longer. It contradicts itself every 3 pages. We can reconcile that. We have different tax codes for every country, state, city, and some neighborhoods. Mrs. Henderson at 42 Maple Street has her own tax code because she complained enough. That's just the current code. To properly audit Earth, you'd need to reconcile all historical tax codes because some of them are still technically in effect. There's a law from 1743 that requires anyone named Gerald to pay their taxes in chickens. Chickens? Live chickens. It was never repealed. Gerald from our team owes the government approximately 4 million chickens. Gerald waved. I've been meaning to deal with that. But the real problem, Rodriguez continued, is that to complete your audit, you'd need to audit yourselves. What? You've been here for over a month. According to Earth law, that makes you residents. You owe us taxes. But we can't calculate your taxes until you complete your audit. But you can't complete your audit until you pay your taxes. It's a perfect loop of bureaucratic impossibility. Crix's eye wasn't just twitching now. It was doing a full interpretive dance of despair. Furthermore, Barbara from insurance added, you've been using our atmosphere without a breathing permit. That's a fine. To pay the fine, you need to register as a business. To register as a business, you need an audit. To get an audit, well, that's why you're here, isn't it? This is madness. No, Carol smiled sweetly. This is Earth. Would you like a brochure? We have 17 different versions, but they all say different things. The Supreme Auditor did something that hadn't happened in the million-year history of the Galactic Revenue Department. He gave up. We can't audit Earth, he announced to his shocked staff. It's not possible. Their bureaucracy is too powerful, too convoluted, too human. Sir, are you saying we're abandoning the audit? I'm saying we're marking Earth as what, sir? As exempt. Permanently exempt, with a warning label. What kind of warning label? Extreme bureaucratic hazard. Do not attempt to audit. They will audit you back. As the Revenue Department fled Earth's solar system, they left behind something unprecedented, a perfect audit score. Not because Earth had passed, but because the scoring system had given up and assigned them NA too complicated to measure. The galaxy watched in awe as Earth, a supposedly primitive Level 2 civilization, had defeated not one, not three, but the most feared organization in galactic history. And they'd done it with nothing more than forms, procedures, and an aggressive newsletter subscription campaign. We need to learn from them, the Galactic Council declared. Earth shall be our teacher in the ways of bureaucracy. Oh, we'd be happy to help, Carol said, already preparing the enrollment forms. We offer a very comprehensive course. It's only 73 years long, with homework, pop quizzes, and a final exam that's technically impossible to pass. 73 years. That's the accelerated program. The normal course takes 2 centuries. Would you like to see the syllabus? It's only 9,000 pages, single-spaced. And so Earth became the galaxy's most feared planet. Not because of military might or technological advancement, but because they had weaponized the most terrifying force in the universe, administrative incompetence elevated to an art form. Other planets began putting up signs at their borders. Warning: Earth citizens require additional screening, may attempt to introduce forms. Done. The 3 original invasion forces, excavation enterprises, mindless mining, and terrible terraforming, had to go through extensive rehabilitation. Support groups were formed with names like Survivors of Earth Bureaucracy and Reply All Anonymous. Hi, my name is Bluft, and I'm a recovering invasion commander. Hi, Bluft. It's been 17 days since I last filled out a form. Yesterday I saw a spreadsheet and only cried for an hour. You're making progress. I still have nightmares about Carol from HR. We all do, Bluft. We all do. Skrintok had written a memoir, To Earth and Back, A Survivor's Tale. It became required reading at military academies across the galaxy, not as a guide to invasion, but as a warning. The most relevant quote: if you ever receive an email from Earth asking if you'd like to subscribe to anything, delete it immediately. Don't open it, don't read it, just delete it and burn the device. Then burn the ashes, then launch those ashes into a black hole. It's the only way to be sure. Vexalia had gone into a different profession entirely. She now ran a therapy center for bureaucracy-induced trauma, using her own experience as a cautionary tale. The forms, she would tell her patients, they seem harmless at first, just simple documents. But then they multiply, they breed. Soon you're drowning in them, and you don't even remember what you were trying to do in the first place. What's the cure, doctor? There is no cure, only management. And whatever you do, never visit Earth's Department of Motor Vehicles. I've seen hardened warriors reduced to tears trying to renew a driver's license. But perhaps the most interesting development was what happened to Earth itself. The successful defense against both the invasion and the audit had united humanity in a way nothing else could have. "We did it," President Rodriguez announced to the world. "We've proven that Earth's greatest export isn't technology or culture. It's pure, concentrated frustration." "Should we feel proud of that?" someone asked. Absolutely. We've turned our worst qualities into our best defense. Our inability to do anything simply has saved the planet. The UN passed a resolution, Earth's Bureaucratic Defense Initiative. Its mission, to ensure that Earth's bureaucracy would never become efficient. Efficiency was the enemy. Complications were their shield. New departments were created with intentionally confusing names and overlapping responsibilities. The Department of Redundancy Department, which had two offices that did the same thing but refused to acknowledge each other's existence. The Committee for Deciding What Committees Decide, which had been in its first meeting for 6 months, still trying to agree on an agenda. The Bureau of Circular Logic, whose mission statement was to define their mission statement, which required a defined mission statement. And overseeing it all, Carol from HR, now Earth's first Director of Galactic Frustration Management. "Our job," she explained to her team, "is to ensure that any future attempts to invade, audit, or otherwise interfere with Earth get so tangled in red tape that they give up before they even properly begin." What if someone finds a way around our bureaucracy?" someone asked. Carol smiled that smile that had terrified 3 alien civilizations. "Then we make more bureaucracy. There's always another form, always another approval process, always another committee, and if all else fails..." She paused dramatically. "We introduce them to the concept of updating their password every 30 days, with specific requirements that somehow exclude every password they try." The room shuddered collectively. Years passed. Earth became known throughout the galaxy as the planet you don't mess with, unless you want to fill out forms until the heat death of the universe. Trade with Earth required acceptance of their terms and conditions. All 400,000 pages of them, updated daily, sometimes hourly. The Galactic Tourism Board rated Earth, "Visit at your own risk. Lovely beaches, interesting culture, but may require 17 forms to use a public restroom." But then, one day, a new message arrived. Not from any known civilization, but from the edge of the universe itself. It was short, simple, and terrifying. "People of Earth, we are the Entropy Coalition. We exist to bring order to the universe, perfect, complete, absolute order. We have observed your planet. Your chaos disgusts us. Your bureaucracy is an affront to efficiency. We are coming to fix you. Resistance is futile. You will be optimized." The UN Emergency Assembly convened immediately. "They want to make us efficient," President Rodriguez gasped. "This is our worst nightmare," General Volkov exclaimed. "An enemy that wants to organize us." "Wait," Carol said, a slow smile spreading across her face. "They want to make us efficient?" "That's what they said. They want to optimize our bureaucracy." "Yes? Oh, this is going to be fun." She stood, addressing the assembly with the confidence of someone who had broken the spirits of multiple galactic civilizations with nothing more than newsletter sign-ups. "Ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary colleagues, they think they can make Earth efficient. They think they can optimize our bureaucracy. They clearly haven't tried to cancel a gym membership, register a vehicle, or, God forbid, dispute a medical insurance claim." The room murmured in agreement. "Let them come," Carol continued. "We'll show them what happens when you try to optimize a system that was never meant to work in the first place. We'll give them efficiency reports that require inefficiency assessments. We'll create optimization committees that need sub-optimization committees. We'll make them fill out forms to explain why forms are inefficient." "But what if they actually succeed?" someone worried. What if they actually make us efficient? Carol's laugh was dark, ominous, and had probably violated several workplace appropriateness guidelines. Make Earth efficient? They'd have better luck teaching a cat to file taxes, in triplicate, in alphabetical order. On a Tuesday, she looked directly at the camera broadcasting to the world. To the Entropy Coalition, I say this. Come, try to optimize us. Try to make us efficient. We have 17 different departments ready to help you, none of which know what the others do. We have forms to fill out before you can fill out forms. We have meetings to schedule meetings to schedule meetings. We have a complaint department that's only open when everyone's asleep, and an emergency hotline that puts you on hold. She paused, her smile widening. We are Earth. We are the planet that defeated invasions with email chains and audits with permission slips. We are the world that turned incompetence into an art form and inefficiency into a weapon. We have forgotten more ways to waste time than you have ever learned to save it. The assembly erupted in applause. Earth was ready to face the ultimate challenge, an enemy that wanted to help them. God help them, President Rodriguez muttered. They have no idea what they're about to experience. Should we warn them? General Volkov asked. Why? They wouldn't believe us anyway. Nobody ever does until they experience it themselves. True. Remember the Zorgons. They lasted 3 days before their leader started crying about password requirements. And the Quantum Collective? 2 days. The terms and conditions broke their hive mind. As Earth prepared for the Entropy Coalition's arrival, offices worldwide began their preparations. Printers were loaded with paper, but not enough, never enough. Coffee machines were strategically broken. IT departments prepared their most frustrating, "Have you tried turning it off and on again?" scripts. The DMV sharpened their pencils and practiced their next calls with just the right amount of soul-crushing indifference. The IRS dusted off forms that hadn't been used since 1952, but were technically still valid. Insurance companies prepared their finest print, so fine it required quantum microscopes to read. And Carol was preparing something special. Something that would go down in galactic history as the most diabolical bureaucratic weapon ever conceived. "What is it?" her team asked, looking at the simple document. "This," Carol said proudly, "is Form Z, the infinite form." "What does it do?" "It requires you to fill out the form to get permission to stop filling out the form. But to stop filling out the form, you need to complete it. But completing it generates a new section. It's a bureaucratic perpetual motion machine." That's evil. No, that's Earth. And those poor efficient bastards are about to learn why the rest of the galaxy warns their children about us. As the Entropy Coalition's perfectly organized fleet approached Earth, their scanners detected something that made no sense. Earth's bureaucracy wasn't just chaotic, it was fractally chaotic. Every level of inefficiency contained smaller inefficiencies, which contained even smaller ones, going down to the quantum level where even electrons needed permits to change orbits. "Sir," the Coalition's analyst reported, "I'm detecting over 17 billion different forms in active use on Earth." 17 billion? And that's just for parking validation. Their tax system appears to exist in more dimensions than our mathematics can process. "That's impossible." "That's Earth, sir. Also, they've sent us a welcome package." "A welcome package?" "Yes, sir. It's 40 terabytes of documentation. All of it appears to be different versions of the same form, but none of them match." The Entropy Coalition, beings of pure order and efficiency, looked upon Earth and for the first time in their eons of existence felt something they'd never experienced before. Fear. Pure, bureaucratic fear. "Perhaps," their leader said slowly, "we should fill out an assessment form first, to evaluate the situation." "Which form, sir?" "Sir, there are 17 different assessment forms. Each one requires the others to be filled out first." And in that moment, the Entropy Coalition realized the truth. Earth wasn't just resistant to order. Earth was where order went to die, be resurrected as a committee meeting, die again in subcommittee, be reformed as a task force, and finally rest in peace as a forgotten initiative that someone would try to revive in 6 months, requiring all new paperwork. The coalition's leader looked at Earth one last time before ordering the retreat. Mark this planet as what, sir? As the bureaucratic equivalent of a black hole. Nothing escapes, not even efficiency. As the coalition fled, Earth's message to the galaxy was clear. We are Earth. We are inefficient. We are disorganized. We are bureaucratic. And we are impossible to deal with. Approach at your own risk. Forms required. In triplicate. Notarized.